Hello fellow leggers, you are joining us once again in the Midlands at the RSC, the Royal Shakespeare Company here in Stratford upon Avon.
Another day and another fantastic Shakespeare comedy, this time in the guise of the Taming of the Shrew.
So stick around to hear our thoughts on this Shakespeare classic and find out how many stars.
And whether it's break a leg
Or leg it. Another Shakespeare here at the RSC.
Yeah, I mean, funny, who'd have thunk they put more than one Shakespeare on here at the RSC? No, they do Shakespeare, and they do it, as far as we can tell, usually bloody well.
And
I'm excited to see something for a bit of a laugh for a Thursday night.
Yes. Is this a laugh? This is definitely a laugh.
It's a comedy, so...
Okay, what I'm liking so far about the RSC is the kind of rep in the company. So we're going to be seeing some of the same actors that we saw in As You Like It are also in this piece, or also in Measure and for Measure that's coming up as well.
Which is great, I mean, because you get to see them display a variety of different characters in really quick succession. And I can't think where else that happens. You usually have to wait until they get their next job and hope it's a bit different from before.
It's kind of proper repertoire
It's putting them through their paces here, isn't it?
Proper rep.
And like I say, hopefully you'll open up a whole new side of them. So you probably want to know a little bit about Taming of the Shrew if you don't already. Written by William Shakespeare himself, sometime between 1590 and 1592, date uncertain, but it depicts the courtship between its two central characters, Katherine, a headstrong woman with shrewish characteristics who's unwilling to enter into a relationship with Petruchio, a fortune seeker who proceeds to attempt to tame Katharina's temperament by psychologically tormenting her and physically starving her until she relents and becomes the obedient wife that he deserves.
Wow, I don't think that's a message I want to advise you go down for courtship.
But it's okay, because in this production, directed by Justin Audibert, it's been gender reversed. So Katharina is now a man and Petruchio is now a woman. So turning that sort of stereotype on its head, the shrew was actually commonly used in Shakespearean's time as a comedic character and usually a nagging woman. Now, you might know, as it's been famously adapted before. One of the most famous adaptations is Cole Porter's musical Kiss Me, Kate, and also the 1999 film starring Julianne Moore and the late, great Heath Ledger, 10 Things I Hate About You, is loosely based upon this play.
Okay, anything else we need to know?
Well, it's on at the RSC until the 31st of August, but stick around to the end because we'll be telling you how you can see it. There's a couple of different ways you can do that. 2 hours and 30 minutes plus a 20-minute interval. It's pouring down with rain, so we're going to head inside. Stick around for our 30-second interval breakdown.
And to the end to hear our thoughts. We've come to the interval, which means it is time for the Breaker Leggers 30-second interval breakdown. Go, what do you think so far?
Me, I'm really enjoying it. It's fast paced. I mean, Shakespeare, it's always a risk that you don't know what's going on, but it's so clear. I'm loving the setting, and above all else, a real thrill for me once again is the music. It's used so well and it's really driving the piece. What about you?
Yes, I'm liking it as well. Really strong characters. What's nice is seeing the characters in rep. So there's actors in the last piece, As You Like It, that I'm beginning to see again, but in a completely different character and different light, which is just beautiful, fun, great stuff.
We've come to the end of the Taming of the Shrew, and I suppose you're wondering what we thought about that.
What we thought about it on this very cold, damp evening.
It is, considering it's
freezing,
April.
Leggers.
I thought things might be, sort of improving now, but no, it's very cold, but it's very picturesque in Stratford with all the lights on the river.
Overall, I enjoyed the piece. Overall, I enjoyed the experience. I think there's so many elements to break down. Mm-hmm. I thought the first act was stronger than the second act.
Yes.
It's a bit of a messed up piece, Leggers.
I mean, it is the very definition of misogyny. Had this have been told in the traditional male-female gender role settings, it would be uncomfortable viewing.
It would have been it was a bit uncomfortable anyway.
Yeah.
And even I was still trying. In my head, I was thinking, "Gosh, this is the other way round originally. This is just messed up."
Yeah, it is. And I mean, what it says about women's place in society and the property that they are of their husbands and the expectation that's put on them to behave a certain way or to not exhibit individuality is overwhelmingly shocking, that we ever lived like that, much less that we should, that should still exist in some cultures now.
I know, it just didn't sit right. However, that is balanced against then the comedy and some really nice comedic characters.
And I suppose,
however, at its core, it is a bit messed up.
It's one of those situations where you're like, you got to laugh at it, haven't you? Like, it's so ludicrous that you think, oh gosh, yeah. And I can understand why this piece has been criticised as a result of it, but you are absolutely right. If it wasn't for the strength of the performances and those beautiful comic moments, which come thick and fast in Act 1 and dry up a little bit in Act 2, but it still makes for an, I don't want to use the word enjoyable, but I would say enlightening and interesting watch.
Interesting as well because of the gender swap. So that's a really creative idea that I think they made work really well.
And it's throughout the characters, isn't it? It's not just those two leading characters.
It's everybody.
Everybody. Everyone that was a man is now a woman, and every woman is a man.
And it's amazing how many women there are on stage, which again opens your eyes as to how kind of unbalanced it is towards men and male
like
actors.
if they were all men, there would be hardly any women in it.
But
and
anyway,
I mean, in Shakespeare's time, there'd be no women in it because that would be illegal on stage, right?
I know, it's still messed up. But anyway,
by today's standards.
By today's standards, and also what really stood out was the diversity within the casting, which was the same for As You Like It, but we forgot to mention it. But in terms of the diversity within the casting, I love it. The RSC get it, and they are getting those relationships and real modern and up-to-date looking at relationships.
It's all about representation here at the RSC, and you will see yourself on stage, irrespective of your creed, your sexuality, your gender identity. There is something
your
for you
colour,
in this
your culture, your race,
and you'll think it's for you as a result. So big mad props to the RSC for that. Thank you so much.
So that's production. So do you want to go on to some cast members?
Yeah, let's go on to performances and then touch on production. A real standout for me in the role of Baptista was Amanda Harris. I could just tell that woman lives. She eats Shakespeare for breakfast. She serials on Shakespeare.
Commanding tone and presence.
She is the very definition of a Shakespearean woman. She would give the likes of Judi Dench a run for their money, or Maggie Smith, or those mammoth Shakespearean type actresses. I think she's up there.
She owned it.
She was amazing.
She was a natural fit in that role and in that costume. And with that hair and wig and makeup, we'll come on to those in a moment.
Let's talk about Joseph Barclay in the role of Katherine. I mean, it's a big ask to say you're playing a role which is a woman, but you're a man. You've still got the name Katherine. And you've got to be the beaten, downtrodden wife of a misogynist, but that misogynist is a woman,
or the husband of a. What is the other way round?
Yeah.
Do we even have a word for that in our?
But like the opposite of misogyny.
Yeah.
Tell us down below, enlighten us, educate us. We
That's
come
a
for
conversation.
we come for these experiences. I mean, I'm absolutely sure that there is. I've seen enough Jeremy Kyle to believe it, but I'd be interested to know what it's called. Isn't that weird? It doesn't enter our vocab.
No.
Whereas misogyny was awesome. Amy Trigg was fantastic in the role of Biondella, Lucienta's servant. She's wheelchair bound, but you wouldn't know it.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like, when you just don't see a disability, and she's such a great, capable actress with fantastic common timing, and there she has those moments where she's alone on stage and she is completely absorbing, and I can feel her feeding from the audience. I really liked what she did and how she reacted to those audience moments.
Great. Who else?
Great. Well, who else did you like? I've done enough for me. Sophie Stanton. Now, we saw Sophie in As You Like It, playing a completely different character. And I've got to say, she was fine, but we didn't pull her out as something extraordinary.
No, she played a very kind of melancholy character. She had the speech, "All the world's a stage." It was very, she was present.
Just underplayed, wasn't it?
Yeah, and real advisory role. Her role this evening was completely different.
Yep.
She completely stole the stage for me. Subtle moments.
It's chalk and cheese, isn't it?
And I think that's what really sold it for me as well. The fact that we'd seen her the week before, last week, in As You Like It, playing a completely different role, made me think, wow, your character here is brilliant. You almost need to see both roles to really appreciate how bloody good she is.
Yeah.
Real subtleties to her characterization. I thought she was brilliant.
And that's it. I mean, we've been spoiled then in such a short amount of time. We've seen the breadth of what she can do.
I'm
Who
really
knew?
impressed. In
Good.
fact, can I go as far to say that I think we should nominate her for a Best Supporting Role?
Really?
Nominee?
Best supporting actress in a play
Yes.
for Sophie Stanton for The Taming of the Shrew at the RSC for the Breaker Lega 2019 Awards?
Yeah, I was.
No.
Yes, I laid down.
Okay, great. Well,
laid
well
it
done,
down.
Sophie. Very well deserved, and
I
really
really
lifted by the
enjoyed
fact
it.
that we've seen you do two very different things. So well done.
Yes.
I also quickly want to mention Laura Elworthy as Trania. Just this, brilliant. Just this, fantastic.
Accentuated by the band as well. You
Yeah,
talked
let's move
about
on
the
to
band
production.
and
Let's
the
use this
music.
as an opportunity.
The rest of the cast were great
Yeah,
as well.
but
A lovely ensemble cast.
Let's move on to. Can we mention Lucy Cullingford for movement direction?
I do believe you just did.
I really blooming loved those dance and those choreographed moments in this piece. It opens with almost like this, you know, in Amadeus, where it's part Mozart, part rock. I
Yes.
felt like that Tudor rock vibe about it.
There was a bit
on
of
the
guitar
opening
in there
number,
as
and I
well.
loved it, and the banging of the drums, but the way that the movement accentuated the music and the way that they reacted to it, I absolutely adored that. So big shout out for choreography, and hand in hand with Ruth Chan as the composer for the music. Do you know, I keep banging on about it. Yes, I think this two piece is the biggest sort of surprise for me is how much I've enjoyed the music, because this theme isn't something that I'd listen to at home, this style of music.
It fits with the piece.
But
it fits with
it doesn't
with the
just
production.
fit with it. Like for me, fit with it is just like, oh, it sort of belongs with it. No, I think it really accentuates the whole piece.
There we go.
It props it up for me.
Props
So,
it up. Director, really good direction as well.
Justin Audibert and director. Yeah, I mean, bringing it all together is a feat, and to have that idea of just completely gender swapping it, I mean, but the RSC would take a risk on that, and it's paid off.
Absolutely. And we should probably talk about wigs, costume. All
Yeah.
of it go together.
Just
to
want to
make a
mention Claire
spectacular
Winter and Lindsay
production.
Miller for sound designer and music direction, just because I love that again. But yeah, costume designer, typical traditional Tudor costumes, big ruffles, long skirts, used to great comic effect in some sort of instances, capes, the whole lot. Everything that you would expect from a Tudor piece is in this because it's set in that period, and that is Hannah Clark. She did Queen Anne for the RSC as well, which we also loved.
There
She's
we go.
the go-to girl for that style.
Well, I guess you're probably wondering how many stars we are going to give the Taming of the Shrew.
For the Taming of the Shrew, we are going to give 3.
3 stars for this piece.
Yeah, it's just for me. It didn't.
That's a very dramatic.
It didn't quite reach the dizzying heights of sort of comedy and sort of almost excited performance that I felt from, and production that I felt from
As You Like It.
From As You Like It. Yeah.
It sags a little. The
It
first
does.
act is great.
Yes.
The second act, the first quarter to the first half sags a little. It's nothing to do with what they're doing on stage.
No.
It's literally in the writing as
Yeah.
the piece. It suddenly turns almost a bit dark and a bit strange. But then it picks up once we get more of the comedy characters back.
I would say I didn't enjoy 4/5 of the second act outside of those performances, just because it becomes it's just a very different beast, and it has those messages that are uncomfortable and writing that feels laboured. It just didn't work for me, unfortunately.
However,
but
the rest of it is
yeah, the
great.
rest of
Great
it was great.
performances,
I mean,
really good ideas, creative ideas, bringing
Yeah.
to life the gender, the characters. It's really fun.
I would say it's a worthy evening out. If you've seen the Taming of the Shrew before and think nothing can be done with it, or questioning, what the art of the possible is, I would say see this, because I would like to have known it before I saw it in this
Yeah.
instant as an original male-female thing, so I could go, oh my god, like that was so different, or oh my god, I never thought about that before. I don't have
You'll
the
open
luxury
your
of
eyes,
experience,
I
but
think.
if you do, you should see this to get that comparison.
And you can see that here at the RSC.
Well, above all that, you can also see it out on a UK tour and in a cinema broadcast. And if you allow me to just vanish for a second, I'll give you the dates. I'm back.
Oh,
so
as if like magic.
it's here at the RSC in Stratford. And to be honest with you, you could have a great day out here, couldn't you? Because you could visit Shakespeare's birthplace.
So much to do.
You could go up the tower here and get great views out of over Stratford.
So much
and
to
then
do.
you could see a Shakespeare play in Shakespeare's birthplace hometown. Wow. And it's here till the 31st of August.
Mm-hmm.
Then it is out on the road, maybe visiting a venue near you, from the 25th of September till the 4th of April.
Okay.
If you can't do either of those things, you can go to your local cinema, because we've all got one, where it's being broadcast live on the 5th of June 2019.
So there you are, once again, no excuses for missing out on this. And when you do, let us know what you think, because
Yes.
this is just what I think.
And it's just what I think. What's more important is what do you think?
And we really pay attention to your comments, so thank you for all of your comments on all of our reviews.
We love you all, because we're the Breaker Leggers.
And we'll catch you again soon.
Bye.